Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us from your homes or here at the Sheridan for our Sunday meditation series. So I invite you to close your outer eyes. Take a deep, deep breath in. Slowly exhale all the way. Begin to center yourself right where you are now, in this moment. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Allow whatever you're sitting on to fully support you. Relax your legs. Take another deep breath in, filling the lungs completely, and then exhale slowly. This morning's meditation is from Yogananda. And their histories, millions of births, and the almost complete change by death every 100 years of all the earth inhabitants. The various great intellectual, spiritual, and material civilizations, their rise and fall. With this background, we can see all life as a vast, ever-changing, ever-new, ever-entertaining, mighty film in the hall of introspection. This life is a picture shown in serials and by installments, infinitely interesting, ever fresh, ever stirring, ever complex. The masterminds and world-changing men such as Jesus, Buddha, Socrates, Muhammad, Caesar, William the Conqueror, Darwin, Galileo, other outstanding pioneers and leaders are the great stars of the motion picture productions who command universal attention from their audiences. The pictures of life must always be different to be interesting. One does not want to see, again and again, the same comedies of lives, or the same news of prosaic facts, or the same tragedies of harrowing or gruesome experiences. One wants variety and can hardly bear to see the same picture twice. That is why the great director of the motion picture of life keeps everything changing. You cannot drink twice from the same running water. You cannot watch the same event twice. The water passes by. The events change. You are not now the same person that you were a second ago. Your thoughts have changed. Your sum total is in a different proportion. Why not then take life simply as a motion picture? To do that, you must steel your mind against sorrow. You must be prepared for variety. You must be a motion picture player, an entertainer, as well as one of the audience, and watching your own pictures and the pictures of others. While playing the part of just as an actor in moving pictures is untouched by the sorrow he has to depict in his characters, so must you remain untouched by the changing pictures of inevitable misfortune, sickness, sudden failure, and unforeseen obstacles in life. Sickness, failure, and grief are so simply by the relative standards of human consciousness. A disciplined consciousness, united to cosmic consciousness, never inwardly experiences sickness or suffering or failure. As God's children, we are always perfect, and we must recover that consciousness by wisdom and true understanding of the meaning of life and its problems. Many of our troubles spring from not knowing what our parts are. This results from not developing our innate intuitive soul faculties. Rouse the all-feeling, all-seeing wisdom by regular meditation and find your part. Then you must play and watch your own playing, or the playing of others. be it the news of plain facts, or a comedy of errors, or the tragedy of trying experiences, with an inwardly entertained mind. There is no room for pain, grievance, or boredom in watching the movies of our own lives. The retrospective consciousness of man can play all the noble parts of life joyously, untouched by suffering. These cosmic movies are all for our entertainment. The great director of the motion picture company of life is made of joy. We, as its children, are made in its image of joy. From joy we came, in joy we live, in joy we melt. Spirit brought out this cosmic motion picture to keep itself entertained. Having come out of its being, we are endowed with the same quality of superconsciousness, by which we can watch the pictures of life, of birth, death, and world events with the same divinely enjoying spirit. The consciousness of man is made of God and is pain-proof. All physical and mental sufferings come by identification, imagination, and false human habits of thinking. We have to travel along the labyrinth path of life, visiting many motion picture houses of varied experiences, entering them with the consciousness of being entertained and instructed. Then, life and death will be watched with an unchangeable, joyous consciousness. We will find our consciousness to be one with cosmic consciousness, unchanged by the human waking of birth or the sleep of death. Thus, we will watch the cosmic motion picture with perennial, ever-new joy. As we rest and wake a little, to slumber again, so from beneath the cover of fleeting dreams of birth and death, we rise for a while and fall asleep again, and dream another earthly dream of struggle. On the sleigh of incarnations, we slide from dream to dream. Dreaming on a chariot of astral fire, we roll from life to life. Dreaming, we pass through dreams, failures, victories. Dreaming, we sail over trying seas, eddies of laughter, whirlpools of indifference, waters of mighty events, death, birth, dreams. It was only in thee that I awoke, and that I knew that I had been dreaming while I thought I was awake. I was home all alone. actualized manifestations of God all around us, no matter the person, asleep or awake, and that we allow the parade of all of that just to pass before us like a motion picture, but not become attached to it emotionally as we watch all of this unfold into this motion picture. Thank you for being with us today. We hope that you'll stay for our service, which is at 10:15. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Nice.
I need to. Trust me. I keep finding myself getting caught in the stream, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to be in the stream. This is
Michelle, would you mind propping the doors open and asking Ed to come in? Thank you. Ed, you see him? Go ahead and move the mic stand around too. Good morning. Okay, awesome. There's a bin that's underneath the table out there. You want to just sit on top of that? Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Anything I can do? Good morning.
Yeah, if you'll take the chair away from the meditation spot and you can put it, I don't know where you can put it.
She's doing it.
Okay.
Is that sort of?
Are the candles dropped behind the blessing wall face blocks? Thank you. If you'll go ahead and open both of those front doors,
Okay.
that would be great. Thank you. I know, it's been too long.
Doing okay. I'm happy to see a smile on your face. Unless it's the drugs.
No,
Okay.
I'm pretty drug free this morning.
Wow, that could be good or it could be bad, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. I'm having some difficulties with this, so that's a little irritating. So.
I won't get in your way, but I will tell you if you experience any swelling, that's discomfort. Tell me, I'll come massage you.
Thank you. Are you coming to lunch today?
I think so. I'll try.
Awesome.
I'll try.
Okay, StreamYard. Deb, are you coming to lunch today? Awesome.
Miss Heather? How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. How was your birthday week?
My week's good.
Yeah? Oh, she's got the cool little scooter thing. How's that
Yeah,
going?
knee scooters. Pretty good.
Better than crutches, huh?
Yeah, I haven't even bothered with the crutches. I've got so many other options. Crutches seem like
Somebody
the
like
last.
happens to just like pick you up and I think that's really the way to go.
Let me know when you find that person.
Use your hands free. The best time to be able to reserve for flower dedications as opposed to last minute stuff, like how far in advance are they usually?
As far in advance as you like. We don't get many, so
Oh really?
yeah.
Don't you have someone for this week?
Today?
Yeah.
Next week. Today's too late.
So do it for next week? Okay, I'll do that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, send me an email.
Sure. That's my Gail.
Did I ask you guys to come into lunch?
I don't think so. We have so much we have to do today, but thank you.
Okay, sure.
But we will be for the potluck for Thanksgiving, so we'll do that.
Great. Yeah, send me an
So
email.
yeah, I think I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do. I think Lisa's we just got a crock pot, and she's learned how to make everything in a crock pot. So she's been making this great bread pudding, which is just like so delicious. So I'll see if she'll make that. You know?
Yay.
crank the air up. Let's see. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I know. Can I hug your neck?
Yes. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I am. Thank you. Are you alone today?
Yes.
Good to see you. You look great. What you been up to?
Just my normal.
Well, it's agreeing with you. Can you join us for lunch today? Firebirds? Firebirds?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Well, look at this cute thing.
Isn't it?
Over there, but you know how it is. I have
Oh, yeah, you
the whole crowd. I have to work before I get to the very far corner. I did. I got great.
Did you really?
Did you?
So I gotta live through you. I understand. Are you going to lunch?
Is Wendy here? Or
No, she's in Asheville. Memories. She should be back tomorrow.
oh, of course.
Okay.
Did the blue mitts ever show up?
They were under Dusty's coat.
They were under Dusty's coat.
The one place I
Dusty's
didn't
coat
look.
has got some more problems.
I don't know if she brought them or not. The mitts.
The mitts are in the Oh, that's okay.
Babs, did you get your volunteers? Did you get your volunteers?
Oh, no. I was busy talking about other things. Let me see. Who wants to volunteer to do this?
Bonnie, you feel like doing that today? I won't affirm that, but I understand.
No,
That's all right.
I just know, I get so nervous I can't hear.
One sense at a time. Dusty, I'm still having technical difficulties. I'm sorry. It's going to be what it's going to be. It seems like the only mic I'm getting is from this laptop. Online. Bizarre. We're getting sound in the room now. I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm
So,
sitting over
talk
here
loud.
so that I can cover that.
Where is the mic? Is it dropped down there on your left? One. Yeah. What's Ed doing? Well, no, I just want to make sure the doors get shut. Okay, awesome. Yeah, perfect. Yay! And Sandy's here. All right, we're ready to roll. Yeah, he's getting you. What you got to cry about today, Carol? It'd be good if the camera was actually on you, Dusty. Those flowers are gorgeous, Babs.
Okay, here we go. Oh, let me get the music off. And we are.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. We are so very glad that you have joined us here at 4 Points by Sheridan in Morrisville, or that you have invited us into the comfort of your own homes. I'm very appreciative of the fact that you are here with us today. My name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I happen to be the spiritual director of this amazing community. It is my honor and my privilege to be so. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. And Centers for Spiritual Living believes and teaches that there is one power and presence that is back of everything that there is, the seen and unseen. That this power and presence is benevolent. It is everywhere at all times, ready, willing, and able to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth. We also believe that it is a creative power, that creative power is imbued within each and every single one of us because we are created in its image and likeness. And so since it is creative, then we too are creative. And that for me is the really good news, meaning that we can change our minds and change the aspects and the parts, the experiences, the circumstances, the situations of our lives that we may not be enjoying in the moment. So we can think a new thought, believe a new belief, turn our attention towards it, stay focused on it, continue to believe in it and be patient, and it will become the experience of our life. That our words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so we come together on Sundays and Wednesdays and for classes and for different social events to really support each other and to know the truth for one another when someone can't know the truth for themselves in that moment. We really walk this path together, and walking the path together is so much more fun to be doing it in community. So we're very glad that you have joined us today and appreciate the support because we know that you're out there and we absolutely know that you're here. So thank you again for joining us. My announcement today, since it is the first Sunday of the month, is the same announcement that we have every first Sunday of the month, and that is that our flower dedication, these absolutely gorgeous flowers, are dedicated to all of the people that have birthdays in November. Now, while we would love to say everybody's name out loud, we wouldn't want to leave even one single person off that list. So we're simply dedicating the flowers to everyone with a birthday in November. So see if this sounds like you. People born in the month of November are the most loyal people that you will ever meet. When it concerns their relationships with friends, family, and partners, they will never let you down. You can trust them with all your heart. People born in November are very different from other people. While we are all unique, they are uniquely unique. What makes them so different is that they do things their own way. And their ideas are out of this world because they prefer to think outside the box. For people born in November, thinking out of the box and doing things differently isn't a difficult task. They are highly creative and innovative, which leaves a lasting impression on whomever they come across. They don't care what others do. They make their own way of doing things. They prefer to take the road that no one has taken before. People who celebrate their birthdays in November are blessed with a hard-working nature. Such people believe in giving 100% and extracting their best possible result from whatever they work on. They know they're not perfect, but they always try to stay fully committed to anything that they are involved in. They are open and respectful and accepting and generally non-judgmental, seeing everyone as equal. We see you, we know who you really are. We celebrate the day that you arrived on the planet and the day that you walked into our community into our lives. And we love you. Happy birthday to everyone with a birthday in November. Is there anybody in the room right now with a birthday in November? Hey!
Hey!
Yes. Rebecca? Oh, wait. And Rebecca. All right. Excellent. Happy birthday. I would now like to thank the lovely Michelle Love for her beautiful meditation that expanded the container that our service will unfold with now. And speaking of Michelle Love, please welcome her back to the
Thank you, Dusty. Good morning, everyone. So our theme for the year of 2022 is Living Everyday Wonder. Our theme for the month of November is home. And Reverend Dusty's talk title today is There's No Place Like Home. Ruby Slipper sold separately. I'm now going to read this community's purpose statement. This is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals who experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to consciously practice this truth in our everyday lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. And so it is. So I now invite you to close your outer eyes and turn within for a few moments, opening your heart and mind and allowing the healing sounds of the crystal bowls to simply wash over you.
the center for spiritual living. Honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths as represented by this ceremony. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest call. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of the divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere, with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through followers of all paths.
So it is.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to invite everyone to close their eyes. Let's speak an invocation on our service this morning. This morning in meditation, I heard the line from the song Good Morning Starshine. And so I recognize all of you points of the light of the stars here in this room, and recognize that we are all one with that magnificent, gigantic, and enormous point of light, which is spirit. That point of light which anchors us, sustains us, breathes us, feeds our hearts. And I know that in this moment, that essence of light joins, as always, us together as a community, and that it is in, as, and through each of us. And so our experience this morning is one of light and joy and love and abundance as our community learns together. And so I speak a blessing on Reverend Dusty as she brings her wonderful spirit of love that she always brings to this community. And I know that she is truly blessed by the spirit of light. And I speak a blessing on all the volunteers that were here this morning to put the service together and those that serve in capacities behind the scenes. And I speak a blessing also on Sandy Hemingway as he brings us his beautiful gift of song. And then I know that this morning is truly one of light. And so I give thanks for this. And so it is.
So it is.
The reading today is from Ernest Holmes. He says, "The Spirit of God is an undivided and indivisible wholeness. It fits all time with its presence and all space with the activity of its thought. Everyone is an incarnation of God and a unique incarnation. All are rooted in the one life. Your endeavor, then, is not so much to find God as it is to realize God's presence and to understand this presence is always with you. Nothing can be nearer to you than that which is the very essence of your being. Your outward search culminates gospel discoveries. Finding God at the center of your own being. Life flows up within you.
So it is.
And now I'm excited and delighted to introduce the wonderful and talented Sandy
I came to Unity about the year 2000, and I started writing positive music, New Thought music in 2003, and released my first CD in 2004. And the title of that CD is The Road Home, and there's a bunch of them out on the table outside, and if you want a copy, just pick it up. It's free of charge. And if you want to give a gift to somebody, pick up two. But this song was the first song that I wrote that I didn't craft. This is one where I say it downloaded into me. I just sat down and the music was almost complete in my mind from the first note, and then as soon as I had the first lines, it just flowed. And this is called The Road Home. Come from? Where does this road go? Where did I come from? Where does this road go? Will it lead me home? When will I learn why I am on this road? When will I learn why I'm so far from home and so all alone? So each day along this road I travel, and each night I sleep beneath the stars, as the minutes of my life unravel. Will I go far? Where must I go now? What will come my way? Where must I go now? What will come my way? Maybe I should stay. Can you tell me, please? Will I make it home? Can you tell me, please? Will I make it home or forever roam? So each day along this road I travel, and each night I sleep beneath the stars, as the minutes of my life unravel right before my eyes. I see the light. Where did I come from? Now I think I know. Where did I come from? Where we all come from? Where I'm headed now, to a place of love. Thank you.
is going to work. Is that better? Better for everyone? I kind of like that big fuzzy ball thing in front of me, though. I have a sense of comfort. Oh, thank you very much, Sandy. Thank you, and thank you for your generosity. Everybody gets to take a little bit of Sandy home with them today, so please stop by and do that, just in honor of our theme of the month, which is home. So thank you. Very, very generous. So I have a question for everybody this morning. What do we have in common with the prodigal son, with Luke Skywalker, Neo, Harry Potter, Peter Parker, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, the Buddha, Aladdin, Homer, and even Simba? Yes, yes, yes. The answer is that each of us and the rest of humanity are all playing out the hero's journey. A journey that illuminates universal principles that apply to the entirety of the human family. A journey that serves to shape and strengthen us. The hero's journey is a metaphor for an evolutionary process of psychological and spiritual growth, maturation, and transformation. It is a monomyth which represents the outward search to find the truth that lies at the center of our being. The recognition of God's presence within us, within each and every single one of us, is the recognition that unconditional love, wholeness, and oneness is our spiritual home. A home that indeed each one of us can access wherever we are at any given time. The hero's journey represents the journey from the innocent child that we arrived on the planet as to the self-actualized mature adult. Everyone has the potential and the capacity to be your own hero of your own life's journey. Some embark on the journey with intention, and others by accident. According to Joseph Campbell, a hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than themselves. Initially, Joseph Campbell described 17 different steps to the hero's journey. Later, a man named Christopher Vogler simplified Campbell's 17 steps into 12. Now, the 12 steps are divided into 3 acts, like a play, 3 acts. The acts are the departure, the initiation, and the return. The departure consists of 5 different steps: the ordinary world, the call to adventure, the refusal of the call, the meeting of a mentor, and crossing the threshold. Now, the hero's journey begins and ends at home, which is why we're talking about it today. So it begins and ends at home. This is the ordinary world, right? The beginning of it, the ordinary world. This is where the hero is living an oblivious life, unaware of his or her own true destiny, and certainly not aware of the journey that awaits them. The home of the child as the hero is a place of shelter and of safety, while simultaneously representing repression. I'm sure you can kind of get that idea, safety versus repression. Now, the metaphoric walls that protect the child also keep the hero in making in a sheltered state. Eventually, the desire to break free from customs or rules or limiting beliefs prompts the child to set out to explore the unknown. And it is in the unknown where there is learning and growth and evolution. In the hero's journey, home is the place where the journey typically begins and ends. It's the starting point and the destination of our spiritual journey. As the name implies, the call to adventure is when the hero is called to an adventure. It could come in the form of a threat to the hero or to some of their loved ones. It could also come from an impending disaster or an incident that transforms the hero's ordinary life with a sudden jolt, like all in one moment that the hero's life is completely changed. The refusal of the call is the moment when every hero begins to have some fears and doubts about their own abilities. Meeting the mentor is the moment when the hero meets a key character on this journey, a key character that is meant to transform the life of the hero forever. The last step in this first act is crossing the threshold. At this stage, the hero is now ready to heed the call and actually departs on this amazing adventure. Now, what I hear or say, or hear when I say or just read the words, "There's no place like home," the first place that I go to is Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, right? Clicking the heels of those ruby slippers together and saying, "There's no place like home." And not just one time, but 3 times, and then being transported back to her home in Kansas. You remember the movie? I hope I'm not giving any spoiler alerts. I checked it out with Ed beforehand, but it's been around for a while, and I think most of us have seen it. Now, The Wizard of Oz is the story of a hero's journey. It's the story of a spiritual seeker on a journey of self-discovery. It begins in Kansas at her home. Jean Houston says, like all great stories, The Wizard of Oz provides a template that allows us to open ourselves to the hidden capacities that we had forgotten we had, the creative potentials we didn't know how to use, and the deeper knowing that transcends past, present, and future, a deeper knowing within every one of us. We are so much more than we ever thought we were. I love that. It's beautiful. So within this hero story, right, there's a hero, Dorothy, who's called to make her life work. And like the hero in all other hero journeys, she's stopped at every turn. Nothing is working in her life or has any positive energy except her little dog, Toto. And as we know in the beginning of the story, even Toto is being threatened with death. In the beginning of the story, Dorothy is embroiled in a struggle with Miss Gulch over Toto's behavior every single time Dorothy and Toto walk past Miss Gulch's house, right? Every day he chases her cat, and every day he tramples her flowers. And instead of choosing to take a different route home or to appropriately train Toto to behave, Dorothy defiantly continues to choose to blame Miss Gulch for all of the trouble and to remain entrenched in these very unpleasant circumstances. Fed up with Dorothy's continued disrespect for her property, Miss Gulch obtains a court order to take Toto away from Dorothy. Refusing to listen to anybody's advice about the situation, Dorothy scoops up Toto and decides to run away. If we really think about it, we can all probably think about times in our life when we have run away from our problems or turned to alcohol or drugs or food or work or working out or to new and different relationships or to sex in our lives in order to run away from the circumstances and the issues that we are confronted with. We've chosen to stay stuck in our belief in our victimhood and the blame game rather than to look within. You don't have to raise your hand or anything. Just, own it. Own it. If we really think about it, we can realize that that is absolutely the truth. And that, like Dorothy, we have a choice in the matter. But like Dorothy, sometimes we make a wrong choice. On her on her journey to nowhere, Dorothy meets Professor Marvel, who is a traveling magician. Now, he pretends to read her future while gazing into a crystal ball. Preying on her worldly ignorance, he appeals to her emotions and the guilt she feels, the guilt she already feels about leaving home, to influence and to manipulate her decision. He tells her that Auntie M is ill and that she needs her to return home immediately, and, as we all know, the ruse works. Again, if we really were to think about it, we can think about friends or strangers or teachers or some family members in our life that have had or continue to have control over us, over our emotions through our guilt or our shame or our ignorance. All of this, when all of this is happening, we are actually giving away our power. We lose our sense of identity, and we live a life that is not entirely our own. We're living by somebody else's rules, by somebody else's control, by somebody else's manipulation. This was the mentor she was to meet, one of the mentors that she was to meet, right? That sends her on this path back home. The journey back to the farmhouse was a mess, right? The journey back to the farmhouse was a frightening one for Dorothy. A storm was approaching, and nothing felt very stable or safe. The winds were becoming stronger and stronger until she was faced with a full-blown tornado. The tornado represents those moments in our life when life itself feels dark and out of control. Haven't we all felt times when we have been confused or overwhelmed by the outer circumstances of our lives? When we have been consumed by the fear of the things that are going on around us. When she arrived at the farm, she tried to open the cellar door, remember? And she tried again and again and again. She desperately pulling on it, and it's not giving way. This can represent all of the times that we have struggled, really, or fought with something again and again and again to sheer exhaustion, and yet nothing seemed to change. We appeared to fail. Frightened and confused, Dorothy runs inside of the house and into her bedroom where she watches. Remember, she's sitting there on the bed and she watches all those things flying past her open window. A cow, I think, went by at one point in time. Ultimately, the window shutters are ripped from the wall and they strike her on the head, which renders her unconscious. Symbolically, in this unconscious state of mind, Dorothy had lost her way home. She's separated from her family, and she enters a dream state as the house begins to violently spin in the eye of the tornado. Through the vehicle of the tornado, Dorothy crosses the threshold. Remember the last step of the first act. She crosses the threshold into a really different space and time and steps into a realm of amplified power. A realm of amplified power, as the hero always does in these kinds of stories. This is the beginning of the second act, the initiation. The initiation consists of 4 vital stages or steps. Number 1, tests, allies, and enemies. 2, the approach to the innermost cave, 3, the ordeal, and 4, the reward. So this is the time when the hero is confronted with challenges. Not like it hasn't already been a challenge for poor Dorothy, but she's now going to be confronted with even more challenges, more trials and tribulations. The hero meets both enemies and allies and must decide who she or we are going to trust, right? The approach to the inner cave represents danger and confrontation and the call for the final battle. The final battle is the ordeal. And this is exactly what happens to Dorothy. When her house finally lands, right, it landed on the Wicked Witch of the East, and we were all standing up in our homes and clapping and cheering. On the other hand, Dorothy felt a little bit of guilt about this. And it interfered with her ability to really feel good about ending evil, about confronting this evil, the control that had been held over the people in Munchkin Land. She took care of her, but she still felt pretty guilty about it. But even though she felt guilty about it, she was nonetheless given this pair of ruby slippers, given the pair of ruby slippers by Galinda, the Good Witch of the North. Metaphysically, the slippers represent the intuitive guidance, the protection, and the power or dominion that we have over all things, obstacles, and situations. Galinda explained to Dorothy the value of the slippers, stating that she must never take them off. This message is as much for us as it was for Dorothy, inviting us to really call upon the power that is always within us, that is within us and is ever ready and available to us every single step of our journey. Galinda then sends Dorothy off to the Emerald City to find the Wizard of Oz, because she said he would have the directions for her to get back home. "How do I start?" asked Dorothy. And Galinda said, I can see her in that blue gown with that little wand. Galinda replies, "It's always best to start at the beginning. And the beginning is always right wherever we are. However, we have to take the first step. We have to take action. However big our fears or however small our faith, we have to take action." The yellow brick road represents not only the journey itself, but like the ruby slippers, it also represents our inner spirit, that divine inner voice or our intuition. It's readily available to guide us as we walk on our journey of life. And that's also why Galinda told her to not stray too far from the yellow brick road. The deeper spiritual significance is that we cannot always be sure of what we see in front of us, of what we see in front of us with our human eyes. Our human perceptions may perceive that something is true. However, it is only our inner intuitive self that is capable of truly seeing. Our eyes can be deceived. However, our inner intuition always knows the truth. We simply have to be open and receptive to that inner wisdom. Along the way, we meet up with all kinds of characters, just like Dorothy did. All kinds of characters and all kinds of obstacles. Each one has something to add to our journey. Along the way, we learn many lessons. We create many new relationships, and we conquer many challenges. Often, gifts and talents and strengths are revealed that we didn't even know we had. And opportunities present themselves to allow us to use the ones that we had doubted. or the ones that we were skeptical could really be used. We might also find out about the weaknesses that we might have within us. We will, however, as Dorothy did, find out that we have the wisdom within us to be able to embrace it all, to hold it, and to know our wholeness. The funny thing about the characters that we meet along the way is often that the characters that we would describe as negative or bad end up being the ones that assist our spiritual growth the most and in the most profound way. They end up being our best teachers. The tornadoes, the wicked witches, the wind, the poppy flowers, Marvel the magician, or the Miss Gulches of our lives all play an important role on our spiritual journey, or they wouldn't be on it. The tornadoes, for example, while representing chaos, are also those unpleasant events that allow us to live our lives from a higher place, that we wouldn't be able to attain that higher level of consciousness without them. The wicked witches represent the shadow side of life, while the good witches represent the light. And we have both of those aspects within us. The wicked witches represent all of the ways that we can self-sabotage ourselves on our journey, while Galinda, the good witch, represents the divine spark within us that balances, supports, and guides us on our way. She guides Dorothy in the beginning and at the end of the journey, and then allows her to really navigate the yellow brick road part of the journey, which is the journey of self-discovery. And just as Dorothy had to do, there are certain things that we have to do by ourselves. Nobody can do them for us. So there's parts of that journey that Dorothy had to navigate on her own. Dorothy also meets a few allies along the way, right? The Munchkins, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion. The Munchkins represent the innocence that we arrived on the planet with. And their small, childlike appearance and their playful mannerisms really are a metaphor for how we should really try to be able to walk this journey. That the attitude that we should have as we do it should be one that allows us to be open and available to all that the journey has to offer us without any resistance. And sometimes that means to really be kind of lighthearted about it, right? The Scarecrow represents Dorothy's need to grow intellectually. If we want to expand into our highest and best selves, we need to continue learning and growing. The Tin Man represents Dorothy's need to awaken her sense of love and compassion, something we all need to do at times in our lives. The Cowardly Lion represents the bully that shows up on every journey. It's a mirror of her fear, her apparent lack of courage, and her low self-esteem. Each of these characters desire something from Oz to make them feel better about themselves. The Scarecrow wants a brain, the Tin Man wants a heart, and the Lion wants courage. They are all looking outside of themselves to find what they want. However, as the story shows, the bottom line is everything that they wanted and thought they needed was already within them. When they actually get to the Emerald City and encounter the wizard, he puts them to a test, that ordeal. They have to bring back the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West. Now, it's interesting here that there's a paradox. On the hero's journey, we will always be given a test before grace is invoked. And we need grace in order to pass the test. So, for example, we cannot instantaneously become courageous. We have to act courageous in order to recognize that we are courageous. While on the quest to get the broom, Dorothy is captured. When she calls out to the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion, it is really basically calling on her own inner intellect, heart, and courage to assist her. As they are trying to assist her, the Wicked Witch sets fire to the Scarecrow. Dorothy throws water on the Scarecrow in an act of courage. And in that splashes the Wicked Witch of the West, who then begins to melt. As Dorothy's fears are melted as well, right? She had to act courageously in order to recognize that she had courage, which allowed her fears to melt, and she began to finally feel safe. Water represents our unconscious mind. They represent the fact that we can always call upon our unconscious mind to dissolve our fears because, think about it, right? In truth, they live in our mind. The fears live in our mind as the beliefs that we told ourselves about ourselves because of some event that happened in our past, or the stories that we're making up about the future. That those fears live in our unconscious mind. And we have dominion over all of that. We can choose something else. The hero's journey is now entering this final act, the return. The return symbolizes the effect of the achievement of all that has happened and what lies ahead for the hero. The hero must now return home, right? The hero's journey begins and ends at home. So the hero must now return home. This act, the return, contains the road back, the resurrection, and the return with the elixir. The bottom line is that the person who returns home is not the person who left. The hero has new insight and understanding that has actually transformed him or her from the innocent child to that mature, self-actualized adult. A mature, self-actualized adult who is now ready, willing, and able to use his or her gifts to really support the whole, to really serve a greater cause. The hero comes into full spiritual maturity by rising above him or herself to do the work of the higher self, to listen to that call. The hero's journey is potentially everyone's journey. At the end of the Wizard of Oz, Glinda tells Dorothy that she always had the power to return home. She always had it. Like Dorothy, we have to leave our safe environment, our safe surroundings, to find and become all that we were meant to be. We have to. We can't stay there and become that. The journey then reminds us that home is the best place to be. We already have everything that we need to get there. The truth is not so much given to us on this journey, but it's actually realized through the journey. Not something that we just hear intellectually, but something that we experience and know beyond a shadow of a doubt. The invitation is to face our fears and take the first step down that yellow brick road of our hero's journey, our spiritual journey back home, because indeed, there is no place like home. And so it is. So it is. So I just invite us to turn within, to take a deep breath and allow that breath to connect our awareness to that spark of the divine that lies within us, that inner wisdom, that intuition, that Christ consciousness. And to recognize that we are one with it. One with this power and presence, one with this love, one with this wisdom, one with this abundance, one with this joy, one with this freedom, one with all things good. And we can never be separated from it. Our perceptions might tell us something different as we move through this human experience. However, the truth is we can never, ever be separated from the center of our being. It is who and what we are. Right where we are, God is in its fullness and in its wholeness, not a little bit over here and a little bit over there, but in its fullness, everywhere, at all times. Each of us, through this divine connection, has gifts and talents and strength and abilities beyond our wildest desires. And the good news is that we are all invited to go on this hero's journey, to take this call, to follow where it takes us, to meet who we are to meet, to come up against the challenges and to move through them, listening to our inner wisdom, allowing ourselves to be guided along that path, never straying too far from it so that we can hear it, so that we can feel it, so that we can know it and not feel like we are alone. We can take this journey, leave the safety and perhaps the rules and the regulations and the limiting beliefs that no longer serve us, and step out into the world to learn, to grow, to transform, to change our lives in remarkable and unimaginable ways. This hero's journey is something that we all can say yes to, knowing that it really is a powerful way to step into being our highest and best self, to being who and what we were created to be, and to sharing that with the world, to serving the world in only the way that we possibly can. No one else can do it. So the invitation today is to really say yes. And I know that as we do, ease and grace will follow, making the crooked ways straight and the rough road smooth. It is all within our power of choice. And I'm so grateful to know this truth and to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words can be loosed into a law that only ever says yes. And so I release them. I let them loose with love and gratitude and full expectation of their manifestation, letting go and letting God be God. I invite all of us to anchor these words for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Thank you all so very much. It is now time for our conscious giving. The Triangle Center for Spiritual Living is sustained by the giving of our time, talent, and treasure. This is the time each week when we offer financial support to this community to continue to be a beacon of light and love and warmth in the Greater Triangle area. Together, we affirm the truth that this offering sustains this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. There are several ways that you can give. They're here on the screen or on your screens at home. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. Text the word give to the following number, 919-230-8445, or you can mail your gift to our office at P.O. Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. Please take your gift or place your hands over your heart with an affirmation and repeat this offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life. I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source. And so it is. So it is. Thank you all so very much for your generosity and your gifts. And now, as the AV switches over. Oh, that's right. They're pointing at me and saying things. I said, I know I'm going to welcome Sandy.
So, the first song has a really, really positive message. This one is one of those. I've been writing posy music for so long. There are times where I write songs that have a certain darkness to them, because the world has tornadoes and challenges, and you all know, because I've shared this before, that the last few years have been particularly rough on me, and this is a song I wrote in the middle of losing my parents and my two best friends. And one of the things that Dusty really didn't mention in her story is what makes a home. And it's my belief that home is about connection. It's about love. Because if you're in a house without love, it definitely does not feel like a home. If you're in a church which is filled with love, it is my church home. And that's what this song is about. It's called Heart Without a Home. When I take a moment and I look inside myself, I see a person I do not know well, a man who cries at night, who's scared to shine his light, a boy who's all alone, a heart without a home. 50 years of my life and I never lived alone, but all the people I once loved are bones. I pace the floor at night, my love is trapped so tight, no queen to share my throne, a heart without a home. Life is a gift, and to live we must lift each other to a new point of view. It takes two to make love come through the heart of you. A heart without a home is what it means to be alone. The light within has nowhere to be shown. I fight the dark within while praying, let me share again this ancient heart without a home. So I hope again again to find that someone to call mine, so I can feel the sun within from giving love to someone I hold dear, who drives away my fear, and so I'll know my heart then has a home. Life is a gift, and to live we must lift each other to a new point of view. It takes two to make love come through the heart of you. A heart without a home is what it means to be alone. The light within has nowhere to be shown. I fight the dark within while praying, let me share again this empty heart without a home. Life is a gift, and to live we must lift each other. Thank you.
That was so beautiful. Thank you. Technology. Where would we be without it? That was really beautiful, Sandy. Thank you so much. All right. If anyone would like prayer, now this thing is really working. Please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. On the home page, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button, fill in the request form, and we will get that prayer and send it to all the ministers and the practitioners, and expect a miracle. And regarding flowers and beauty, if anyone would like to dedicate a flower dedication to anyone or anything, please contact Heather Abbott at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. Join us following our service today for the Lunch Bunch birthday celebration. In November, we're going to Firebird's Wood-Fired Grill at 3200 Village Marketplace in Morrisville. So all y'all and any of you out there that couldn't make it to the service but you want to join us for lunch, please do. And there's a Save the Date announcement for Sunday, November 20th. We will be having our Thanksgiving potluck. Please bring a dish to share and join us for fellowship following the service. And here's another Save the Date announcement for Saturday, December 24th. We're having our Christmas Eve candlelight service. It will be right here at 4 Points by Sheraton at 7 p.m. And both Karen Daly and Cindy Johnson will be here to share their gift of music. And we will have a dessert potluck following the service. So come for the sacred candlelight service and stay for fellowship. And in regards to our New Year's Eve service, that's on Saturday, December 31st, so save that date. Join us as we look at the spiritual practice of letting go and express our willingness to do so in our annual Burning Bowl ritual. The service will be here at 4 Points Sheraton at 7 o'clock. Then join us the very next day on Sunday, January 1st for our New Year's Day service, followed by visioning and the creation of our own vision boards for 2023. Please RSVP so that we can have the right amount of supplies. And if you have any extra old magazines around your home, please bring them with you. And might I add scissors and glue sticks, just in case. And now, in the comfort of your own home or here, please stand for our November affirmation. It's a call and response, and let's say it with meaning. And repeat after me. Today, I affirm that I am stepping out of my safety zone.
Today, I affirm that I'm stepping out of my safety zone.
Ready, willing, and able to undertake the journey of my lifetime.
Ready, willing, and able to undertake the journey of my lifetime.
I declare that I am the hero of this journey.
I declare I am the hero of this journey.
And the person who returns home is not the person who left.
And the person who returns home is not the person who left.
I am grateful for all of my journey, knowing that I have everything within me that I need to navigate the trials that are necessary for my growth.
I am grateful for all of my journey, knowing that I have everything within me that I need to navigate the trials that are necessary for my growth.
I am ready to face my inner dragons, knowing that to do so is part of the journey.
I am ready to face my inner dragons, knowing that to do so is part of the journey.
I live in faith, knowing that life is conspiring on my behalf.
I live in faith, knowing that life is conspiring on my behalf.
I end the journey where I began, at home, knowing that my true home is in the realm of spirit.
I end the journey where I began, at home, knowing that my true home is in the realm of spirit.
I now know that I am at home wherever I go.
I now know that I am at home wherever I go.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Now, if everyone would close their eyes for a moment. And I'm so grateful to have spent this time together with all you wonderful points of light, knowing that our expression of who we truly are has been enhanced and enlarged and enriched by this morning's service. And I know that we bring this truth of who we are into our lives, and we bring the courage of the lion and the representations of love for ourselves, of the scarecrow and I guess the Tin Man was courage, sorry, but you get the point. The point is that we renew our faith in our connection to spirit and bring this into our lives and allow ourselves to grow. And so it is.
Thank you all so very much. Let's, everybody remain standing. Those of you at home could stand, and we'll sing our closing congregational song.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this.
Thank you for this day, this healing, this healing, this healing day, this healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This wonderful, this wonderful, this wonderful day. This wonderful, this wonderful, this wonderful day. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for that beautiful song. Have a really wonderful week, and we'll see you soon. I love you all.